Good day, everyone. Kathy here, welcoming you to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. And I'm going back to once a week being a holiday card making. So Thursday is going to be the day I pick so far. And I'm going to make a rather simple Christmas card today. I know it's early, but you got to get a head start on these things. I'm going to be using the Hero Arts Joy Stampin' Cut, and I have already cut out the word joy from that. That's all I'm using from that set. And I did that in a red mirror cardstock. And I'm using Spellbinders Stocking Full of Joy. And I'm only cutting out this greenery from that. And I've already cut it out, and I cut it out in white. And I'll be coloring that in because I want to use up my white scraps. Now, the card is going to be simple. It's white, 10 inches by 7 inches, score it at the 5-inch mark, fold it, crease it with your bone folder. And then you just need a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. A piece of red mirror cardstock. This is 1 3/4 inch by 6 3/4 inch, and those are going to go together. And then I cut out 2 3 1/4 inch scallop circles. I'm only cutting 2 because my paper was kind of thin and I wanted this to be thicker and popped up. This is from GinaK's Master Layouts 8. Now I'm going to take this white piece of cardstock and I'm going to emboss it using Spellbinders. This is their 3D embossing folder of the month from July 2023. And it's Christmas bubbles and fern. So I'm going to emboss that. And I kind of want one of these ornaments that's on this folder to be down in this corner. I thought that would be kind of pretty. Now, to use the 3D on the Anna Griffin machine, and I'm using my larger plate system here, I have the A plate, the folder, the metal shim, and then my magnetic mat. And that's the sandwich for the Spellbinders. Okay, now this should be a fairly quick card today. Pull that out. And done with the cutting machine, so I'll turn that off. And that gives a beautiful 3D Christmas image. I love this folder. Okay. Now, on this circle, I do want to stamp a word. I forgot I do want to use Tidings of Comfort Anne from the Hero Arts stamp set. So I want to stamp that on the top of this one circle. Let's see which one looks better. Because I have 2. Where did the other one go? Okay. Couldn't have gone far. Oh, well, I'll use this one. I'm going to put that, and I want it way at the top, as far as I can. All right. Get my stamping platform. I know I had 2 of those just a second ago. You know, that's how things go. Not inside the card. Nope. Okay. And then I'm just going to stamp this with my VersaFine Clair Nocturne, which is my favorite black, because I can use it with a variety of things from watercolors to alcohol inks. And that looks good. I don't need to do anything more to that. Clean that off. A tidy towel. Put that back. Okay. Now I'm going to put this front on here and this front. And I kind of want them to overlap a little bit like that. So I'm going to glue down the red strip first. This is just a relatively quick card if you have to make one in a hurry. And you could use this with any foliage that you have, any word die that you have, and any embossing folder. And this I'm going to glue down flat. This will get embellished in a little bit with some sparkly stuff, of course. Right. Now I'm just going to set this aside and put my acrylic block on top of that. Now I'm going to take my greenery and I'm going to color this. I've got my alcohol ink marker. This is a G750 Emerald Green. And I'm just going to color both of these. 100% green. There'll be a little bit of white showing in the middle, and that's okay. That gives it a little bit of an accent. I don't want the edge to show white, but the center part can be. So anywhere that's too white, I'm just going to cover that up. Alcohol markers and regular markers are a good way to use up your scraps of white paper, because you can turn it any color you can think of. And I have a ton of white scraps still. I try to use them as much as I can, but they just seem to multiply in that little box over there. Looks pretty good. Okay. Now, make sure I don't have any marker on my hands, and I do not. Okay. Now this, I'm going to pop this up kind of towards the top, but centered, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to use some round dots that I have. Yeah, the backing came off of that one. These are older foam dots, and I'm trying to use them up. All right, that should be good. Now get my little tool. Oh, come on. Yep, that came off. All right. Sort of centered, but then move it up a little bit. Now I'm going to take my greenery. I want this to be kind of crisscrossing each other with the joy. But I don't think I want the stems, so I'm going to cut the stems off. I just want the greenery portion. I'll give them a little tiny stem and see how that looks. I could have one tiny and one longer. And then have the, oh yeah, okay. Yes. Do I want to do that, or do I want to go up above? Or do I want to go like this? No, don't like that. Yes, I'll have one short and one long, and have them coming off. All right. A little bit more on that one. I'm going to cut that stem too. Yeah. Well, if I would get out my tweezers, I'd pick that up easier. Like that. And then joy. Yes. And then the ends of the J and the Y will be hanging off the edge of the top. All right, better put my little block on there just to hold that down while that dries. I have a small block here. That'll work. Now, while that is drying, I'll clean up this glue over here. I'm going to take some of these clear rhinestones and I'm going to color them red. I picked a R872 Tomato. And let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many little berries? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 berries that I need. So I need 10 red berries. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Get my all right, come on. Where did you go? Ah, there you are. Things just like to go flying. Okay. Then there is the top of the joy, and I'm just going to put a little dot of glue right there. And I'll use my wax pickup tool here. Hello, where did it go? Okay. See if I can get it with my tweezers. Just have to turn it right side up. Okay. Looks like I need a little bit more glue under this end. Sometimes the metallic paper needs a little bit more glue to help hold it down. Okay, now I'm going to do a little stickles to bling up the background here. And I'm just going to use the frosted lace because that's white and it has no other color glitter in it than white. And I want this background to stay kind of whitish. Hold you down. So just where there's little dots, I'm just going to add a little dot of frosted lace. Just adds a little something so it's not so plain. Not that the background's plain, but I like things to sparkle and shine. And it doesn't need a lot. because you have the red mirrored cardstock and the sparkly holly berries. And that looks good. Okay. That is my card for today. In less than 16 minutes, you have a card. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I can give you some ideas to get out your die cuts and embossing folders and just play around with them. See what you can come up with. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you tomorrow.